Okay, this is the lesson over factoring trinomials when the leading coefficient is not 1. So here our leading coefficient is not 1. That means you have a number in front of your x squared term and it's not 1, and you can't factor it out. On this example problem, we're going to change that 36 to a 1. I can do that because I'm somewhere. So this sample problem, we're going to change it that 6x squared minus 5x is staying the same plus 1. Okay. When you're factoring a trinomial with a leading coefficient that's not 1, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to slide and multiply. Okay. This method is called bottoms up, and you'll hear me referring to bottoms up when we factor like this. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to slide and multiply. And what I mean by that is you take the leading coefficient and you slide it to the back, and we're going to multiply 6 times 1. So you get an x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay. Once you slide and multiply, the next thing you're going to do is we're going to do our x puzzle, because now we've transformed it into a trinomial that has a leading coefficient of 1. So we're going to do our x puzzle here. So 6 goes on top and negative 5 goes on the bottom. If you're multiplying to get a positive 6 but adding to get a negative 5, both of them have to be negative. Your factors of 6 are 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. So they're both negative. They're going to both have to be a negative 2 and a negative 3. So our factors here are x minus 2 and x minus 3. Once you get that, so you slide, multiply, and then we're also going to do the x puzzle. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to divide and reduce the fractions. And what I mean by divide, you're going to take these factors that you found and you're going to divide by whatever you slide by. So since we slide the 6 over at the first step, we got to divide by 6. Okay? And then you want to reduce the fractions. So what I mean by that is, what does 2 over 6 reduce to? Well, it reduces to 1 over 3. And 3 over 6 reduces to, 3 goes into both of those, it reduces to 1 over 2. Once you reduce, the next step we call it bottoms up. And you take the bottom of your fraction and you slide it up to the front. So our last factor is going to be a 3x minus 1. This one, we're going to take the bottom 2 and we're going to slide it up in front. So we get a 2x minus 1. Those are your factors. Say, Miss Elmer, that is crazy. And it is a little crazy. We can always check your factors. If you multiply these together, you should get this equation, or this expression that we started with. So I'm going to go ahead and FOIL that and we'll just see what happens. 3x minus 1 times that 2x minus 1. 3 times 3x times 2x is a 6x squared. Negative 3x, or 3x times a negative 1 is a negative 3x. Negative 1 times 2x is a negative 2x, and negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. Then you can combine your x's. A negative 3x and a negative 2x is a negative 5x. And we have that 6x squared and that plus 1. Okay, 6x squared minus 5x plus 1 is what we started with, 6x squared minus 5x plus 1. Okay, so let's practice a couple more. If you want to, go ahead and pause it and try to do the next one on your own, and then once you're finished by yourself, you can play the video and see if we get the same thing. I'm going to go pretty quick here, so if you need more processing time, you have a pause button on your video. Okay, so the first thing we do, there's not a greatest common factor here. You can't factor out a number or a variable. So we're going to slide, since we have a number in front of x, you can't just do the x puzzle. So we're going to slide that 2 over to the 18. So you get an x squared plus 9x minus 36. Okay. Once you get a trinomial that you know what to do with, do your x puzzle, a negative 36 and a positive 9. I need a negative and a positive. The factors that are going to work there are negative 12, nope, a positive 12 and a negative 3. 12 plus a negative 3 is 9, 12 times negative 3. So here are our factors. We got an x plus 12 and we got an x minus 3. Once you slide, the next thing we're going to do, you do the slide, you multiply and do your x puzzle. Then we're going to divide and reduce fractions. So whatever I slide by that 2. I divide by 2, divide by 2. Now what is 12 divided by 2? What does that reduce to? Well, that reduces to a 6. Okay. What about this? X minus a 3 over 2. Well, that doesn't reduce, so you can just leave it 3 over 2. If it doesn't reduce, you can move that denominator up in front. This reduced to a whole number, so you don't move anything up in front. You just keep it at x plus 6. Okay. If it has a denominator that didn't reduce, you move that denominator up in front, so we got 2x minus 3. If you wanted to double check, you could FOIL it, and you should get what we started with. Okay, I'm going to do example B. If you look at your trinomial, there is not a GCF, and your first number is not a 1, it's 9. So we're going to do the bottoms up method. That's what we're learning today. 9, you slide over and multiply it times 9. So we get an x squared plus a 30x plus an 81. You factor 81. Got an 81, got a 30. Both of them are positive, so you know both signs have to be positive here. Factors of 81, 1 times 81, 2 doesn't go into 81, 3 does go into 81 27 times, 4 doesn't, 5 doesn't, 6 doesn't. Okay, from here, you do 9 times 9. Here I see that the 3 and the 27 will add together and get 30. There's 3, there's 27. So our factors are x plus 3 and x plus 27. Now, a lot of students are used to stopping here and saying, oh, those are my factors. But if you're doing bottoms up, you're not done. If you're doing bottoms up, whatever you slide by, you have to divide by. So we're going to divide by 9, divide by 9. What does 3 over 9 reduce to? 1 over 3, which means we're going to take this 3 and we're going to move it in front. So that's going to become a 3x plus 1. Here, you got x plus, how many times does 9 go into 27? 3. Since it reduced to a whole number, you don't have to move anything up in front. Just an x plus 3. Those are your factors. Cool. Again, if you want to practice on your own, practice C and D and see if you got it. These are good ways to check if you're understanding. So pause the video and see if you got it. Here, a 3x squared plus 5x minus 12. Again, there's not a greatest common factor. There's not a number that goes into all these. There's not a variable. If your leading coefficient is not 1, it's not just an x squared, there's a number in front. You have to do bottoms up. So we slide. You slide that 3 over. So we got an x squared plus a 5x. And negative 12 times 3 is a negative 36. You do your x puzzle. Negative 36 and 5. You're looking at negative 36 and 5. Factors of 36, 1 times 36. 2 times 18. 3 times 12. 4 times 9. 6 times 6. Okay. Since I'm getting a negative 36, one has to be negative, the other one has to be positive. So I'm looking for out of these factors have a difference of 5, and I see that 4 and the 9. If I make the 4 negative and the 9 positive, I'll get a positive 5 when I combine those, when I add them. So my factors are x minus 4, x plus 9. I'm not done. Kids like to say they're done here. Can't be done till you divide. Whatever you slide by, we slide the 3, you got to divide by. Does 3 go into 4? No. Does it reduce? No. Okay, so that's still x minus 4 over 3. Okay, does 3 go into 9? Yes, 3 times, so x plus 3. If it reduces to a whole number, you don't have to slide anything. If it reduces to a fraction or doesn't reduce, you move that denominator in front of the x. So we got a 3x minus 4, and we got an x plus 3. Again, double check your answers, especially if you're learning this on your own. Double check your answers and make sure they're right. This last one, it's tricky because this is a -6. All right? You can't factor out anything here. Actually, we'll pause on that. If you're doing this on your own, I'll do a second one to what to do on the negatives. I'm going to go consult with my other Algebra 2 teachers and make sure I teach this the right way. So if you're working on your assignment and you have a negative out in front, hold off on that one. I'll post a video, another video explaining what to do with that later. Probably not today, probably Friday. Adios. Good luck. Work hard. It pays off. See you later.